Hello, happy Friday, and welcome to the cookbook, baby! We'll be hopping into Dappz Live, breaking down the biggest sports stories from the wacky world of sports. But first, we've got some NFL games to break down, and more importantly, we've got bets to place. Big bets, anytime bets, spider legs, CVS receipts. Bo Nichols says 67. I don't know what that means, Bo. Please let us know. All right, Zach Attack. What if we leave 67 in September and bring Big Randy into October? I think he's talking about the big dumper. The big dumper. Who maybe we'll throw a couple bets on them as well. I am here with our fellow degenerate Blackbeard himself. Dylan, how are you? How are your bets this season so far?
Bad.
Bad.
These are not about my picks. I'm tailing you for the rest of the season. So hopefully my luck turns around.
Listen, if all you do is just bet all my bets single and don't parlay them together, you'll go 8 for 10 every week.
That's fucking boring, though.
It's boring as hell. Nobody wants to do that, okay? Nobody wants to bet single bets. Let's parlay everything together. Let's turn this thing around, guys, with some locks of the week, some player props that cannot miss, and a game to stay the fuck away from, Dylan.
By the way, Bryce Press says, cry, Eagles, cry. Love that.
Cry, Eagles, cry. Bryce, we love you. Continue to let people know in the comments how you feel and how we feel. Listen, I mean, Dill, let's just talk about this before we get into the anytime touchdown locks. We'll leave it up on the screen. But yeah, the Eagles and the Giants, Jackson Dart shit all over Philadelphia. I saw a graphic, by the way. Philly had a really bad day yesterday.
They did.
Phillies lose, get eliminated from the playoffs. Eagles lose, and I don't know if you know this, Dill, hockey started yesterday. The Flyers lost as well. There has only been one other time in history where a city's 3 teams all lost on the same day, and their baseball team got eliminated from the playoffs. The Phillies, the Philadelphia, 2025. Do you want to know what the other team was or the other city was?
New York.
It was Philadelphia in 1983.
No way.
Philadelphia has experienced this before. This is really, really rough.
Well, stop throwing batteries at Santa Claus, and maybe, your luck will turn around. Dodgers fan 123 says the Eagles have been eliminated from playoff contention too after losing to the Giants.
Dodgers fan, you nailed it. Listen, we're going to get into anytime touchdown locks of the week. Everybody might be looking at this and thinking, what are you talking about, Dappz? Blackbeard, where did you come up with this?
Okay, right? So this is a very, very simple recipe, right? You get into the metrics and you look at the worst rushing defenses in the league. How many touchdowns do the worst running defenses in the league let in? And what do? We go and we find out who's running against them. Okay? This is 6th grade math.
And just so you guys understand this, if Blackbeard is confusing any of you right here, the Raiders are playing the Titans this week, all right? They both stink. Everybody knows it. You know it. I know it. Dylan knows it, all right? Raiders aren't good. Titans aren't good. Not only are they not good, they both let up the most rushing touchdowns on average this year, okay? Both of their defenses. So what do? We look up who's the running back. Who's the running back playing these shitty-ass defenses? And guess what? Ashton Genty, anytime touchdown, -155. Lock it up. Lock it up. All right? I don't know what that was, but do it.
Closing the lock. That's what that was.
And his counterpart in that game will be Tony Pollard, who is +110 to score a touchdown on the shitty-ass Raiders.
One of the most disrespected running backs in the league. The guy gets his.
He just gets his. All right? He just gets his. And then moving over to another player. All right? Bryce says Saquon may be hitting 900 rushing yards.
Yeah. It's fun to laugh at them. It really, really is.
It really is. And it's just unbelievable how you could go from winning the Super Bowl convincingly overpowering everybody, destroying Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. Not even a fun game to watch. right? Like nobody enjoyed watching the Super Bowl outside of Philadelphia.
Yeah, we all felt like freaking Chris Jones standing around watching Trevor Lawrence fall in the end zone.
Chris Jones
fucking
like,
idiot.
I'm sorry, I thought he was down.
Yeah.
Listen, I think a lot of us thought he was down. But that's your job, is to make sure that he's down, and you didn't do that. So Javonte Williams is playing the low-level scumbag sewer rat Carolina Panthers. Okay? A bottom 5 rushing touchdowns allowed team. And what we mean by that is they let up the top 5 most rushing touchdowns on a week-by-week basis. So what do? You find Javonte Williams, who's an absolute stud, by the way. I think he's ranked 12 overall in fantasy right now. Mm-hmm. This guy gets in the end zone. And look, he's minus 190, okay? That means you got to put almost $200 down to win 100 on Javonte Williams, but guess what? It's worth it when you're running against the Carolina Panthers and their trash-ass defense.
And on the other side of the ball is maybe my favorite single anytime touchdown line of the week. It's Rico Dowdle. I feel like with Vegas being as witchy and omniscient as they are, they, in my humble opinion, don't correct lines fast enough. Rico Dowdle playing against the Cowboys, another very, very bad rushing defense, should not be plus 230. He put up 200 yards last week. He's going to get in the end zone this week. Put your money on Rico Dowdle to score.
And like Dylan said, this is a guy who rushed for 200 yards last week. And the Cowboys defense doesn't look good. Look at all their games. Even the games they're tying or winning, they're letting up close to 30 points.
The Green Bay
Packers tied 40-40.
Yeah, the Green Bay Packers put 40
points up.
And you think the Green Bay Packers are horrible.
The Jets put up 30 on them.
Yeah.
All right, so even if the Cowboys go up, take lead of the game, they are going to allow garbage point touchdowns, and Rico Dowdle's going to get in the end zone. And then our 5th player on this list is also going up against a really shitty defense. Which is kind of wild to say right now because I don't think any of us watching this show or on this show thought that this defense was going to be so bad 5-6 weeks into the season. Kyren Williams going up against Baltimore Ravens defense, and you saw what the Texans did to Baltimore last week, and I have no reason to believe this ends anytime soon. The Ravens have lost their identity on defense for sure. Dylan tends to blame everything on Harbaugh, which I think is a little ridiculous considering Derrick Henry is literally giving the ball to the other team in a critical moment 3 times a game. As soon as the Ravens can go, you know what, let's lock this game down, Derrick Henry goes, you know what, let me just fumble the ball real quick.
It's really, really insane to think about because the Baltimore Ravens were a vaulted, very, very targeted defense, especially in fantasy. I want to give you their games this year. -3, then they got 15 against Cleveland. Okay. Then they go -4, -3, -2. Okay. One of the worst defenses in the league. Give me Kyren Williams.
Kyren Williams is an absolute beast. He's had a slow start to the year. He absolutely exploded last week for, 30 million points.
Yeah, and Sean McVay has had this coach speak about, it's going to be a split backfield. We're going to do a 60-40 thing. The thing about that is that Blake Corum is bad, right? So that's not going to happen.
Blake Corum came in, got his one shining opportunity, and was like, looking down the field, the toss hit him in the hands and he fumbled the ball. So You're not coming back in, buddy. And listen, just so everyone's aware too, Baltimore is letting up 146 yards on the ground this year per game. 146 yards. So again, Kyren Williams should explode. And by the way, even if you think, the Ravens defense is going to stop the rush somehow, even though they're letting up 150 yards per game, Stafford has Devontae Adams, Puka Nacua. I mean, this guy has weapons all over the field, and guess what? If one of them ends up catching a ball and gets tackled within the 10-yard line, you know who they're going to hand the ball to? Kyren Williams. Not Blake Corum. Guarantee it.
Bryce Press, a goated fan at this point. Kyren is not much better with fumbles.
Well, listen, Bryce, and I think you'll agree with this. And Bryce, we have a bet going on, Bryce. Don't think I forgot about yesterday. Kyren Williams, the way he fumbled was he got punched in the face, physically assaulted, all right? Yeah. And then after he got punched in the face, the punch came down and knocked the ball out.
Yeah.
Blake Corum had a toss, nobody near him, free will, just not paying attention. I would slightly argue Kyron Williams' fumble was not as bad as Corum's. Bryce, I believe Kyron Williams has you said explain.
Oh, I was there. I understand. I heard the bet, Bryce.
Yeah, Bryce. He heard the bet. It's a Jaguars bet.
Yes.
Bryce, are you from Jacksonville?
Duval.
I don't know how to say it. I'm still learning. If anybody else is curious and doesn't have the stats in front of them, and you're kind of flirting with some of these anytime touchdowns, and you're wondering who to bet on, can we pull up who the Dolphins are playing? The Bears, I think, are playing the Commanders. Tennessee, we've already got, and Buffalo's playing Atlanta Monday night.
Oh, and let's just take a quick break really quickly because OBS is giving us a little bit of an issue right now. So let's just take a quick pause, and then we'll get back to Miami versus the Dolphins. Hang tight, everybody.
Yeah, and we can just go over this real quick, guys. The reason I'm bringing up Miami is letting up. Oh, I can't even not laugh while saying this. Miami is letting up 175 rushing yards per game. 175 rushing yards per game. Okay?
That's a lot.
So every single week you should consider when you're thinking, who should I anytime touchdown? Go to the Dolphins and look who the running back playing against them is every single week. Other top 5 most rushing yards allowed in the league are going to go from Miami down to Chicago. The Bears let up about 164 yards per game. You've got the Commanders in town this week. Little Bill's looking good. But listen, when you don't just look at the running back, because Jaden Daniels is a guy who can definitely break one out, and he can score with his legs too. So anytime touchdown Jaden is interesting this week. Anytime touchdown Bill. Anytime touchdown Chris Rodriguez. Some of these backups, if you think the Commanders are going to get out of control or the game's going to get out of hand. Back to Tennessee. Tennessee lets up 146 rushing yards per game. I could see Genty absolutely having an explosive game again this week against Tennessee. Baltimore stinks, 146 yards per game. And then surprising on this list is Buffalo. The Bills are letting up 146 rushing yards per game. Okay, they've played some pretty good teams, by the way. They played the Ravens, obviously. Derrick Henry went absolutely ballistic all over them. They played no, they didn't play the Chiefs yet. Who did the Bills were in another shootout though, weren't they? Did they play
the
Lions?
The Ravens they were in a shootout with.
Yeah, the Ravens, is that it?
Yeah.
Anyway, Bills are playing Atlanta this week, and you know what that means. Bijan Robinson is getting in the end zone, guys, okay? Bijan Robinson is getting in the end zone. X13 says Josh Jacobs. I'm not sure. The Packers are playing who this week? I forget who the Packers
are playing. We're
going to pull it up right now.
Bengals, I believe.
Oh, my God. The Packers versus the Bengals. Yeah, guys. I mean, Cincinnati is a bottom 10 team for rushing yards allowed as well. They're letting up 130. You're absolutely correct with Josh Jacobs hitting a touchdown as well. So Josh Jacobs can score. I love anybody playing the Dolphins any week. I love the Commanders this week. Remember, Genty, Pollard. So this is going to be a fun week for anytime touchdowns. Let's go back to the comments real quick.
Let's do it.
Jacory looks awesome for sure. Listen, there's a lot of interesting anytime touchdown locks this week, but we strongly advise when you're looking at this stuff, set yourself up for success. Go against the bad defense. Go against the defense that already is giving you data on, hey, we let up touchdowns every week. We let up 175 rushing yards a week. This is easy stuff to look up, guys. The Dolphins.
But you don't have to, because you're going to watch this show, and we're going to tell you exactly what you need to.
Yeah, or
to
just
bet
don't
on.
do any research and just watch Dappz live, watch the cookbook every single day, and you're good, right? Judkin's getting a touchdown. It's his turn. Also, Buka averages 26.5 yards per catch versus cover 4-6. Listen, X13, if you bet Buka to score a touchdown every game for the rest of the season, I don't think you'd be disappointed.
You will be up
I think
money.
there was a point in time when Christian was on the Panthers, I believe, and maybe he got traded in the middle of this, but if you had bet anytime touchdown Christian and just rolled the money into another anytime touchdown Christian bet the next week, it hit 15 times in a row, and you could have turned $100 into six figures.
Yeah, $5 billion.
Yeah, right, $1 billion.
Right, exactly.
So very Egbuka-like. And by the way, Christian's stats this year, they're looking that he's basically averaging 20 points a week.
Yeah, he's one of the best running backs in the league. But listen, we have got to get away from the running backs, and we need to get to the trap of the week, the game that you need to absolutely stay away from.
The trap of the week, guys, and this is just information I'm giving on to you because this is the way I felt when I saw this.
Yeah, I'm confused about why you feel as strongly as you feel about this game.
Well, listen, I really want to get into it. And the trap of the week, guys, for anybody who is unaware, is the Cowboys -3 against Carolina. And listen, we're just going to have to do a little bit of statistical analysis still. All right? And listen, Dak Prescott, I don't think anybody has to argue, is throwing the ball all over the field, doing whatever he wants, moving the ball. Should have beat the Eagles, but CeeDee Lamb forgot he had hands that week.
CeeDee Lamb is horrible at football.
I mean, really horrible at football this year. I mean, does he even play football this year? We're going to go over to the Carolina Panthers, though, first, real quick.
Yeah.
The Carolina Panthers, who got absolutely decimated 26-10 by their, division rivals, or, well, not division rivals, their expansion team rivals, the Jacksonville Jaguars, destroyed them. And you know how I feel about the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Cat fight.
Right?
Cat fight.
Bryce, if you're back in here, listen, you know how I feel about the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah.
They get absolutely destroyed. Then they go to Arizona, where, by the way, they were getting destroyed. They ended up scoring some points at the end of the game. They get wrecked. Somehow, they go to Atlanta and win 30-0.
Right.
The Panthers. I don't know what they were doing.
Drake London's shoulder was hurt.
Yeah, it was Drake London's shoulder that.
Well, perhaps that's the linchpin of the entire team.
The following week, though, they lose 42-13 to the Patriots. And the Patriots aren't a bad team, but they're not a team that you lose 42-13 to unless you stink.
Who's better, Patriots or the Colts?
The Colts are better than the Patriots.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I'm a Jets fan. I hate the Patriots.
Okay.
There you go.
All right.
So a little biased.
Got it.
Then last week, Panthers pull out a win against the low-level Dolphins, who there's only a couple teams that are worse than the Panthers. One of them, my New York Jets. The other one, the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and the reason we're going to walk down this line is the Panthers are not a good team. They're really bad. When they lose by 16, they lose by 5, they lose by 30. All right? In their losses, they've never lost by 3. Okay? Ever. This year. So, if the Cowboys come into town and play Carolina and play Cowboys football, they should absolutely destroy the Panthers.
Yeah.
Cowboys -3.
Right.
This is the easiest bet ever.
Yep.
What am I missing here?
Yeah.
What am I missing?
And if you look at a line and you look at it up and down and you really kaleidoscope everything involved with it and you go, what am I missing? You're missing what Vegas is not missing, and you need to stay away.
So here's the thing, Dill. When I see Cowboys -3 versus Carolina, I think, no way. There's no way the Cowboys aren't covering this spread.
Yeah.
Cowboys -3 versus Carolina?
Yeah.
Lock of the week.
Backdoor bullshit the whole way home.
Backdoor bullshit. Bryce says Panthers have been known to score points in trash time. Well, what could happen is maybe they score some points in trash time. Who knows? Maybe they cut the lead to 2.
Pick 6.
Panthers lose by a point. 2 points. Maybe they miss an extra point. I don't know. But this line seems way too easy.
Don't touch it.
The Cowboys should roll -3 over the Panthers, and that's why I'm not betting it. All right? Now let's move on.
What we are betting.
Yeah, but we are betting. We are betting something else. Anytime touchdown locks. We got you anytime, baby. Bryce, you're going to have to jump in here with us. Davante Adams +115 against the low-level Ravens. I think he might score 2 touchdowns. Go ahead, Dill.
Yeah, he might. And the reason why we picked Davante Adams is because, we're just trying to feel something, right? Betting Puka Nacua to get an anytime touchdown against the Baltimore Ravens is like, I don't know, having a tuna fish sandwich that's a day old. It's like if I have to, I'll do it. But this isn't exciting.
No, it's not exciting.
Yeah.
But Davante, and that's why, he's minus money. Davante's plus money.
Yeah.
And I love the plus money on Davante Adams. Now, let's move over to a game we've already talked about, the Bears versus the Commanders. This is kind of like a rematch game. I think it was Monday Night Football. It was definitely a primetime game where, remember, the Bears had it locked up. Stevenson on the Bears is doing, gun symbols into the crowd or whatever dumbass shit he was doing.
You idiot.
He's not focused on football, his job, that he only had to play for another 60 seconds.
Right.
And because he did that, Jaden Daniels throws up a Hail Mary, and the Commanders win the game. And that was a very deflating moment for the Bears last season, by the way. They were finally about to get a win. Rematch. Luke McCaffrey is plus 380 to score a touchdown. Remember, Scary Terry's out. Debo is obviously the favorite. Maybe Ertz second. But Luke McCaffrey is getting looks with these odds. The Bears let up a ton of yards and a ton of touchdowns every single week. What do you think, Dill?
Yeah, I got to tell you, this is the most sharp bet of the week, I got to say. Luke McCaffrey gets red zone targets, okay, and gets into the red zone. This kid is getting some love, and Jaden Daniels is back. He is rolling, okay? I don't believe in Debo. Debo is fat. Luke McCaffrey is not. And if you want to parlay this is the kind of odds that gets you into some big money, which we'll talk about later.
And just so everyone's aware, the Bears are coming in almost allowing 4 touchdowns scored per game. Now, that's not all through the air, but still, I mean, come on, man. What are we talking about here? The Bears and the Commanders, it's going to be a shootout. I shouldn't say neither of these teams play D. The Commanders can play some defense with Dan Quinn, but the Commanders can definitely let some games get away from them. We saw them lose to the Packers. We'll see what happens there. Then another bet we like is Ted McMillan plus 145 going up against the Cowboys.
Yeah. Tet is Bryce Young's favorite target. He has kind of been steady this season. We haven't had like a big breakout game from Tet. I think that this might be that very game we're hoping for. Bryce Young is a little bit of a midge, and I don't know why we keep doing this in the NFL. We see Kyler, we see Bryce Young. I mean, the only midge who really was able to do it was Drew Brees, and of course, I'm not talking about actual midgets. They're just like 5'11", 6 foot, which is short for a quarterback. But yeah, Tet, love it. Plus money. Come on, easy.
Dallas is letting up 2.5 touchdowns per game in the air, and so are the Bears. By the way, 2.5 for the Cowboys, 2.4 for the Bears. So we like these a lot. McCaffrey's odds are obviously way more favorable. You're putting $100 down to win 380. Tet, you're putting 100 to win 145. And then we're going to move over to the Green Bay Packers. Romeo Doubs gets a cupcake walk this week against the Cincinnati Bengals. I mean, if the Packers can score 40 points against the Cowboys, can they score 80 against the Bengals?
They can score 700 points against the Bengals. But so there's 2 scenarios here. We've either got a blowout, which is what we're expecting because Packers are Super Bowl bound. And the other side is we've got a dogfight. Flacco comes back in and completely rejuvenates this offense. Either way, there's going to be a lot of points on the Packers side of the ball, and Romeo Doubs is the wide receiver 1 on this offense.
Bryce says, how many games does Joe Flacco play before he retires?
Half of one.
Well, what's funny is a lot of Packers fans, and I think one of the main Packers fans on the McAfee show, he's like, we just got our ass beat by Joe Flacco and the Browns. He's like, I don't want to play Joe Flacco again. Which is hysterical because the Packers should be in this position where they're just, rolling teams over.
I know.
And instead they're losing to the Browns on a field goal. And now they've got to play Joe Flacco 2 weeks later.
I'll tell you what, though, if I was Joe Flacco, I would go, absolutely not. I'm too old to be behind the Bengals offensive line. That's actually scary.
Way too old. Romeo Doubs, love it. Plus 150 to score a tutty. In Cincinnati. And then we'll move on to the Denver Broncos. Cortland Sutton, who gets a cupcake walk this week against the New York Jets. Now, they are overseas. They are playing in London, but Cortland Sutton has been an absolute beast this year, getting in the end zone pretty often. And just so everyone's aware, we'll go over the Jets. Touchdowns allowed in the air this season is 2.2 touchdowns per game.
That's more than 2.
That's more than 2 guys. So we're expecting 2 guys to score a touchdown, receiving, catching the ball. The question is, who's it going to be? I mean, listen, you got Evan Ingram, Marvin Mims has scored, but Cortland Sutton is clearly the number one target to score a touchdown.
Honestly, this one is a little bit scarier than the Luke McCaffrey one because the Broncos are capable of so much fuckery, okay? You've got wheel stuff with Marvin Mims Jr. You got Franklin. Why is he getting the ball? You've got all this stupid
Not a big
shit.
wheel stuff guy.
No, I don't like wheel stuff.
Bryce
okay?
has a hot take. I think the Broncos are honestly losing to the Jets this week. You think it's possible, Dill?
No.
There's no possibility that. Because listen, like, somebody will probably lose to the Jets.
Yeah.
Right? And, like, I'm not saying it's the Broncos, but
Right.
The Broncos also have not been playing a brand of football where you're like, I don't want to play the Broncos.
No, that's true. That's true.
You
And
know?
it would make sense for the NFL screenplay writers to go, yeah, we're going to have them beat the Eagles and then lose to the Jets. But there is not one multiverse in this Avengers Endgame world where the Broncos lose to the Jets this week.
You know what I will say, though, that I'm looking at a stat right now, which is very interesting, is that the Broncos this year have lost 2 games. One of which I've been very critical of, which I thought they should have won, which was against the Colts, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Colts missed the field goal, jumping over, I forget what they call it, pushing off the
leverage, getting leverage.
Leverage call gives them a 15-yard penalty to let them try the kick again, which I thought was insane.
Yeah.
And listen, if you use leverage and block the kick, it's like, okay, let them try the field goal again. You use leverage and nothing happens. Like, what are we doing? Yeah. All right, like let's make a common sense call there, NFL. So they lose that game by 1 point. The following week, they lose to the Chargers and they lose by 3 points. And Herbert had to play like an absolute stud. So the only 2 losses the Broncos have this year are 3 points to the Chargers and 1 point to the Colts.
And so many people came into the season going, Broncos are plus money. Well, it's a futures bet, so it's going to be plus money. But they have really, really good odds to take the AFC West. And after the first couple of weeks, people were like, "Oh, this is clearly a bad team. Clearly a bad team." No, would you say the Broncos? The Broncos are better than the Chiefs right now, right?
I mean, the way I think I have to retract my words. This is actually a team I don't want to play. The Broncos are a team I don't want to play, and just so we're aware too, the Broncos, they're going to play the Jets, then they're going to get the Giants at home, which you would have to assume, even with the Giants playing well, they're going to lose that
Jackson
game
Dart's
in Denver.
Going to get eaten alive in Denver.
Then they get to play the Cowboys at home, and again, they could lose to the Cowboys. That could be a wash game, whatever. And then they get the Texans. So of the next 4 games, they got Jets, Giants, Cowboys, Texans. I'm saying they're going to go 3-1 one way or another.
I'm going to say 4-0.
So even if it's 3-1, Dill, there's going to be 6-3 at that point if they go 3-1, which is a very, very nice position to be in the AFC West with having to deal with Herbert and Mahomes. But let's move on to the locks of the week.
The one thing about Mahomes, they're going to get Rasheed back next week, and once Rasheed is in that offense, everything is going to open up, and the Chiefs are going to probably win the fucking Super Bowl, which is super annoying.
Yeah, the Chiefs are probably going to win the Super Bowl again, guys. I mean, Rasheed Rice comes back, and now he's got too many receivers. He's got
just
multiple
so
running backs.
annoying.
Kareem Hunt dropped 20 points in fantasy. I don't know if you saw last week.
Yeah.
Locks of the week, guys. Rams, this is the no-brainer. Rams -7 versus the Ravens. I don't even know if this spread moved because it's just been announced that Lamar's officially out this week. The Rams might win by 20. I mean, they legitimately might win by 20. The Texans just rolled them, and I don't think the Texans are as good of a football team as the Rams. The Bills versus the Falcons. This almost had to go into trap of the week because this is so...
Oh, my gosh. The Rams line moved down.
Yeah, I mean, jump all over this, guys. I don't understand this. And again, maybe this is the trap of the week because this is way too easy. This is way too easy of a bet. I don't understand how the Ravens hang with the Rams with Cooper Rush in. The Rams have been playing really, really good football. And again, let's go over the Rams schedule real quick. I just want to hop in here just to see. Again, they lost. They had a loss to the Eagles, which they should have won. They have 2 losses this year. They beat the Texans by 5, which I really don't like. They rolled the Titans. They lost to the Eagles on that block field goal bullshit. They beat the Colts by 7. Dylan doesn't like that game because of the Adonai Mitchell fumble. And then they lose to San Francisco in overtime in a pretty wacky game.
Don't overcomplicate it. Just hammer the Rams.
Hammer the Rams. They're 3-2. They should be 4-1, no problem. They got Baltimore, Jacksonville, New Orleans, San Fran, Seattle upcoming. I like them to win 1, 2, 3. at least 3 of the next 4. I think they got to split the games with the Niners. I think they'll win the next one. We will see. But Rams all day. Let's move to the Bills, though. This game, the Bills, by the way, they're coming off a loss to the Patriots, which they played a really sloppy football. They didn't look like the Bills. They turned the ball over in their own zone. Now they're going to the Falcons, who, by the way, let's just remember, this is a team who lost to the Panthers 30-0.
Well, bad shoulder.
With Drake London, now Drake's shoulder's repaired. 30-0. The Bills are only. This seems like a game, by the way. The Bills should be -9.5 to -11.5. That's what I think the spread should be at, even in Atlanta. Give me Josh Allen in a dome every week.
Every single week. And this is a game where you're either betting for the Bills to be the Bills, or you're betting for the Bills to slide into a team that we didn't think that they were going to beat. That's likely not the case. So take an alt line. Go Bills -10.
Take an alt line. I love that idea, Dill. And by the way, I also love betting on good teams coming off a loss. All right, good teams respond when they lose. You saw, I think, the stat of Mahomes hadn't lost two games in like 2 or 3 years, and then he did it either last year or this year. And then I don't think he lost 3 games ever, right? So good teams coming off a loss. Josh Allen.
The only thing that's spooky about this, and I think that this is why the line is like this, the Bills did not cover against the Saints. They did not cover against the Pats. Let's see if they go 0 for 3 against the spread.
Yeah, and I will say, though, that against bad teams, which I believe Atlanta is, the Bills have played the New York Jets, they have played the Miami Dolphins, and they've played the New Orleans Saints. They were heavy favorites against the Saints. But they beat the Jets by 20, they beat the Dolphins by 10, and they beat the Saints by 12. So the bad teams that they've beat,
they mollywop.
And not even whatever mollywop, whatever you want to call it, they won by more than 4.5. Right. They won by double that. So against bad teams, the Bills are winning by 10 points. The spread's 4.5. I love that. Maybe look into a guard or a defensive lineman who's not playing. Colts -7.5 versus Arizona. Kyler's a little banged up.
Favorite bet of the week.
Dylan loves the Colts. Dylan is a big Colts guy right now.
It's not just about me loving the Colts. The Arizona Cardinals are the most pathetic team in the NFL, okay? It's not the Titans. It's not the Jets. It's not any of these teams. It is the Arizona Cardinals. They were who we thought they were, okay? The Colts go into Oakland and beat the dog shit out of them. They're going to do the same thing to Arizona. I don't care if they're a team building exercise is not $100,000 fine to your head coach for punching a running back in the chest, okay? That's not going to bring everybody together. So hammer the Colts.
And what I will say in Dylan's defense is that there's only in the Colts 4 wins this year, one of them they won by 1 point, which is really kind of a loss in my mind because they shouldn't have won that game. So the other 3 wins, they beat the Dolphins 33-8. So they win by 25. They beat the Titans 41-20. They win by 21. They beat the Raiders 40-6. So we're talking about they win by 20 points or more when they win.
They would have beat the Rams by 10 or 14 if Adonai Mitchell hadn't have, fucked around and had us all find out.
He hadn't fucked around and found out.
So listen, we're going to do something crazy here. We're going to combine all of these anytime touchdown bets into one long CVS receipt.
Guys, this is something that we invented here, so trademark this until CVS sues us because it's their name.
Yeah.
But this is what we call the CVS Receipt Parlay, all right? This can be anywhere from 10 to 20 legs long, all right? We also have spider leg parlays. We're not going to do one of those today. This is the CVS Receipt Parlay. Look how long this freaking thing is. And we're going to take $10 and we're going to turn it into $30,000.
Listen, of course this isn't going to hit, right? It's probably not going to hit. Everyone's going to hit except for Ashton Genty, right? But It's a freaking 6-inch sub at Subway sandwich, okay?
It's
Just freaking put it
7
down.
sandwiches with 6 grams of fat or less, baby.
Yeah.
All right, that's what you're getting here.
It's a sweet onion teriyaki. Just throw down $10, and if you're feeling spicy, throw down $25, because if you put $25 down, you can win $80,000.
Guys, we're talking about you got $25 and you want to buy a house. All right, you're in the Midwest. Listen, you can't afford it where I'm at out in LA. You might be able to put a down payment on an apartment, all right, with this money. But still, $25 is going to win you $80K. $10 wins you $30K. Let's go through them. Davante Adams, plus 115 anytime touchdown. And you're going to say, Dappz, are you nuts? Davante Adams? He's playing the Ravens. Do you know who the Ravens quarterback is? You don't. He used to be the backup in the Cowboys. But I'll also tell you, they don't even know. They might put Tyler Huntley in. They're saying Huntley might play this week. They don't know who their quarterback is. Give me Davante Adams, plus 115. Let's move over.
Well, I got to say, people are really, really getting in the comments about the sandwich deals out there in the world right now. Yeah, we are, hearkening back to the $5 footlong days, and those were good days in America.
Listen, I don't know how much of you guys watching are youngsters. That Subway used to have a commercial. They had a jingle. It was on every day during football, outside of football, and the whole thing was they had 7 sandwiches with 6 grams of fat or less.
Yeah, there was that big, fat, awful guy who did all those awful things, and then that ended. But let's get to the second bet.
Okay, we're going to get to McCaffrey, guys. And the reason we like McCaffrey is, remember, Scary Terry, okay? Scary Terry's not playing. It's already been announced. Debo is the guy. We know that. Zach Ertz is probably number 2. But at plus 380, we love McCaffrey. The Bears are letting up 2.5 touchdowns on average in the air per game. So that means between either 2 or 3 touchdowns are getting scored by Commanders receivers, running backs, or tight ends. Love McCaffrey at plus 380. Okay?
Yeah, you're not getting 10 to win 30K if you don't have something like Luke McCaffrey anytime touchdown, okay?
Now, the Nerd Gym, Energy Gym, I don't know what your name is, but Nakua Kyrie is going to score. Listen, we don't hate that. I think they all can score, though. I think Nakua, Davante, and Kyron can score. They're playing the Ravens, guys. The Texans just dropped 40 on their head last week. Remember that. This is a Rams team that is way more efficient on offense than the frickin' Texans.
Give me Verse to score, against the freaking Ravens. I mean, come on. Next bet is Tataroa McMillan.
Ted McMillan, guys, you know who he's playing? He's playing the Cowboys. The Cowboys are putting up points. We're probably going to see a weird Cowboys game where they probably should win by 20, but somehow they don't, and they keep the game close. And if they do go up, guess what? Bryce Young's going to have to throw garbage point touchdowns. Ted McMillan is his favorite target. We like Ted at plus 145. The Cowboys are a bottom 5 pass defense.
Johnny J says, can you give a less risky one? No, we cannot. $10 to win $30,000, okay?
Well, Johnny, the less risky part of this is not parlaying this all together. These are our top 10 favorite anytime touchdowns, Johnny. So the less risky will be the ones that are at minus numbers when we get into the running back anytime touchdown locks. And also, anything you see at plus 115, plus 130 is going to be a little less risky. Luke McCaffrey at plus 380, that's where we're getting into risk territory. All right? That's where we're getting into risk territory.
Johnny J locked it in. Let's go.
Straight up. Rob, please let us know your favorite locks. Romeo Dobbs, again, plus 150 against who? The Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati Bengals?
Bad team.
Bad team. Bad team, guys. I want to go over this, too. The Cincinnati Bengals are letting up 2.5 passing touchdowns per game. Who is it going to? Again, the Packers scored 40 points on the Cowboys. The Bengals don't know who their freaking quarterback is. They traded for Joe Flacco this week. You think he's going to come in and just be a stud? You're out of your freaking minds. Romeo Dobbs plus 150. Let's move on to the low-level scumbag, worst team I've ever rooted for in my entire life. Keeps me in the sewer. I can't see at night.
We're in jolly old England. We're in jolly old England.
I'm living in a constant state of darkness. It's like Bane is just in control of me. Cortland Sutton might score 5 touchdowns against the Jets this week.
You know why? It was born in the dark.
Hey, that was a good attempt. If anybody thinks they can beat it, please let me know. Cortland Sutton plus 130 to score a touchdown against the Jets, guys. The Jets absolutely stink this year. Again, bottom 5 passing team. They're going to let up 2 touchdowns at minimum this week to the Broncos. They're playing in where? London. That's right. Okay, let's go to Chief says don't count Flacco out. He's like Bobby Boucher. Okay. JD says Flacco is throwing 3 picks. Sudden touchdown is a good sleeper pick. See, Rob, we agree. We agree. I don't even know if it's a sleeper, Rob. The Jets stink, Rob. The Jets are bad. Sean says Luke is looking fire. Love that pick. Again, that's a plus 380, guys. Russ Clay, 8.3 out of 10. Remember, guys, this is a $10 to win $30K. This could change your life for $10. Yeah. Now, listen, we need a lot of things to happen. We're not saying this is guaranteed. But if you don't like the all 10, take a couple out. Then $10K.
And we need the running backs to score, too. So, first up, Javonte Williams and Ashton Genty. Ashton Genty and Tony Pollard playing each other. These are 2 horrible rushing defenses, okay?
Guys, let's go over this real quick. The bottom 2, okay, the bottom 2 rushing defenses, the 2 rushing defenses that let up the most touchdowns a week per game on average are the Titans and the Raiders, and they're playing each other this week. So you get a little mix of Ashton Genty, okay, at minus 155, might rush for 200 yards this week, and then sprinkle a little Tony Pollard into the mix at plus 110. Pollard has kind of underachieved this year, but guess what? He got in the end zone last week, and now he's playing the worst rushing defense in the league, okay? So throw in Pollard at plus 110. Give me Ashton Genty, who is finally, guess what? He's not doing this anymore, guys. He's doing this. He's not doing this anymore, Dill. He's doing this.
Fuck yeah.
And when he does this, he explodes.
Yeah.
All right? Don't try to put Genty in a box.
No, absolutely. Chino Nino Lino says, is this for prize picks or something? No, this is for Dappz Sports. Remember the name. Okay, so...
Chino and prize picks, we will get into some player props, but this is anytime touchdowns, brother. What we're betting on right now is who we think is going to score a touchdown on Sunday, and we're showing you the odds. So... Prize Picks might offer anytime touchdowns. I'm not sure. We're degens. We're not in Prize Picks. We're just in straight up sports books.
Yeah,
But if you have questions, Chino, you let us know about any of these numbers.
Absolutely.
Now, let's get into the running back with the worst odds to score this week, but we absolutely love Javonte Williams, touchdown fucking machine this year. He's minus 190. That means you have to put $190 down to win 100, okay? Now, minus 190, Tony Pollard, Cowboy, playing the Carolina Panthers. If you think the Carolina Panthers are good, you don't know ball. Okay, so that's all I have to say. Now we're going to move over to somebody in the comments said they thought that Kyron and Puka was going to score. We agree because Kyron's on the list, minus 125. Baltimore Ravens stink. They're so bad. They just let up 40 points to the Texans, okay? They're letting up 2 touchdowns on the ground every game. Guys, lock the Kyron in. He's one of my favorite bets this week. He finally got in the end zone last week. And then at plus 230, which might be my favorite bet at the odds this week, even over McCaffrey, at a plus 230, Rico Dowdle, who just ran for 200 yards in one game, okay? Against the Dolphins, they stink.
Chubba's out. Chubba's out.
Chubba's out, bro. Chubba's out. And let's just go over this real quick. I want to go over rushing yards. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. Rushing yards allowed per game.
Yeah.
Okay? Let's just go through this.
It's really, really bad, but remember, Rico is the bell cow of this team right now. At plus 230, you have to take that. You have to.
And Sean says Javonte has moved even from 190 to 210 in the last day. So that should show you how much of a lock that is. Rob says might have to put this on DK for the ghost leg parlay offer. Let's go, Rob. I love that. Now, Rico Dowdle. Back to Rico Dowdle. The Dallas Cowboys are letting up 127 rushing yards per game. This game is probably going to get out of hand. I love Rico Dowdle to get in the end zone at plus 230. Best odds that you could possibly have. And this, if you parlay all of these 10 bets together again, guys, this is the CVS Receipt 10-leg parlay. You got 5 wide receiver anytime touchdowns parlayed with 5 running back anytime touchdowns. That is the cookbook, guys. Hang tight. We are about to start Dappz Live in a few seconds.